just my 2 cents worth. So today I showed up at court. I have an IVO against someone. Obviously doesn't know what the law is and my rights as the IVO applicant and the victim in the matter. I can sit in court as it's not a closed court or anything like that, so he needs to stop whinging about me showing up at court claiming that I'm stalking him when I have every right to sit in court, especially when you're the victim in the matter. It says all these that I'll make up false claims about him. Well, I've got to have the evidence to back the breaches of the IVO. So no one can be charged unless you've got proof that they actually breached the IVO. The police have this evidence, so just because the judge hasn't seen it in court, it's not a trial, it's nothing, it's a hearing where you either plead guilty or you don't plead guilty. If you plead not guilty, then it goes to a trial where you can bring in the evidence. This fool keeps saying he's a victim, has a YouTube channel. My IVO is because he keeps talking about me. He says his YouTube is a diary. Well, a diary is secretive. It's personal. So YouTube isn't a diary because you're sharing it with the world, aren't you? Your whole life. So it's not a diary. You're out there to make money. You trigger people to get what you want, to make money on YouTube, to try and get your followers, get your subscription up. You know, I don't want to be a part of it. Nor does my family, nor does my kid, nor did my 11-year-old daughter at the time when you filmed her off your surveillance camera and posted her on your channel without parents' consent. 11-year-old child. I don't care whether it was an innocent video or what. You still need consent, being that she was 11 years old. Now this fool that I have an IVO against has also threatened to stab my kids. He also admits on his YouTube channel that he cut up my garage. All because the police didn't charge my wife for taking down his advertisement sign and throwing it in the bin. All because we saw that video of her when she was 11 that he posted up without our consent. So and then to start it all off, like this whole incident, like I don't know what to say. The fool just thinks he's a victim in what? I don't know. Yeah, I've done nothing but protect my family. Instead of me doing it wrong and bashing him or whatever, because I want to be around for my kids. I want to see my kids grow up. I don't want to spend my days in jail. But this fool seems to want to, with the way he goes on about laws corrupt, laws this, laws that, when he has no idea about the law. But yeah, states that, well, when it all kicked off when he stopped my 11-year-old daughter for a chat on her own on the way home from school. He thought it would be alright just to randomly talk to her. We moved in, we'd been here for about a year. Hadn't spoken to him, never met him, never shook up his hands, never greeted each other, nothing. Because we're a quiet family, we like to stick to ourselves. Next minute, here he is, my daughter comes home scared, frightened. Like, because this stranger literally just stops her for a chat. She was too traumatised to remember exactly what he tried to say to her. He can make up anything he wants, but whatever he said actually scared this 11-year-old girl to come home and tell her parents what just happened. So naturally I waited for him to come home. I asked him, what gives you the right to just stop my daughter randomly down the street for a chat? He decides to argue up instead of, sorry, nothing like that. It's a, sorry, excuse me. He tries to defend himself. Everyone talks to daughters, blah, blah. Well, no morally right man just talks to young girls randomly on the street just for a conversation, especially when you don't know them. And then that's when the sign comes up. I didn't know he posted it up. I didn't know he had this channel at the time. I saw this sign, advertisement of his channel name, so I thought, oh, I'll have a look at this. And the first video I see was the one of my daughter. So naturally, mother's instinct, she took it down. She didn't want her daughter being advertised, pretty much. Fast forward a few months, he's out drunk. I have this on my surveillance camera, so you can say he doesn't have a video or nothing, and my surveillance cameras capture his partner with her phone out, video recording it. I'll just pause for a second while these fire trucks go through. Some would say that's corruption and paranoia, and coincidental, it's the devil and its sirens coming through, but that's just another story, that one. But yeah, he was out the front one night on a school night drunk, so I go out. He was being loud, he woke me kids up. I go out, I tell him, it's either police get called for drunk and disorderly at the front, blah blah, or you go home. What would you rather, pretty much? So instead of doing the respectful thing, he decides to arc up. I've got it on camera myself, and gets in my face. So I start pushing him, and I step back. Continues in my face the whole time while I'm telling him, just piss off inside. You're waking the neighbourhood up. Rah, etc., etc., blah blah. But he ends up, as I'm walking inside, to actually go and call the police myself. He decides to jump on my back, pulls me down in a choker hold. So my wife decides to make him let go, punches him a few times in the face. He wouldn't let go, so she grabs him by the throat. He ends up letting go. I get up, he gets up, he runs around the front lawn a little bit. I've got it on camera again. Goes for my garbage bins and decides to try and throw him across the lawn. So I gave him a few taps, fuck him off my property. He already had numerous amount of warnings, so piss off, blah blah. It's quite aggressive to begin with, in my face, jumping around like a monkey, in my face, blah blah. Police show up in the end because he tells his partner to call the police. I show him my surveillance cameras, and so they go down to speak to him. His first words are to him, "This is going on YouTube. So are you here to report an assault or whatever, since you called the police, or was it for your YouTube channel? Was it content? If you're that scared for your safety, why is the first instance to go YouTube?" So the police turned around and said, "Well, we don't want to be on YouTube," and left. Now he claims that I'm trying to kill him. I was the one who choked him. I turned around and said, "Well, take that footage. Your partner filmed it. Take it to the police. I'm happy to take that charge, because I'll have it dropped the moment it goes to court, because my video surveillance captured it too. It shows a different story to what you're saying." Yeah, it's getting a bit much actually talking about it. It's been going on for 5 years, and yeah. So then, after all that happens, my wife was also pregnant at the time with our first child. In our relationship, my daughter's a stepchild. She became gravely ill. She was told by doctors to get a lot of rest. Her iron was low, etc. And then next minute, we get this, while I'm at work, I'm getting phone calls while my partner's trying to rest about this constant bass music just bumping through our windows. Like, we live in units, they're connected. So it wasn't so much the songs or the loudness of the actual music, the words, because you could barely hear those words anyways. It's more bass, which shook our premises. It rattled our windows. So we ended up calling in noise complaints and stuff like that. He got numerous warnings about that. So then he decides, knowing that once our kid was born, knowing what time we put our kids to bed, he would come out at a certain time, exact same time, pretty much every night, blowing the ground with his leaf blower near our windows, near the bedroom window where our baby was sleeping, stuff like that. So we ended up, again, noise complaint. We didn't care whether he wanted to clean out front, stuff like that, but we got young kids, young baby, fresh born. You live in units, you have a bit of respect towards people, being that you live pretty much on top of each other in units. So we got kids, we should have a home, but in today's society it's not easy to get a big home. It's easy to get units, so especially financially. But anyways, so all that stuff, the noise complaints and stuff, rattled on for a good year nearly. And then one day he decides to attack my garage with a chainsaw. And and threatened to stab me kids. My youngest was 3 months at the time, so naturally I'm never going to forgive someone who's threatened to stab my kids, especially being as young as they were. But anyways, things are just haven't been, it's just constant, continuous. So when he got charged for cutting up my garage and all that stuff, blah blah, he recorded the incident himself, but he's claiming police corruption and stuff like that. Like, the police had that video of him actually filming it. He put it on YouTube, so they ended up getting a copy of it. So the evidence was there, but claims corruption, that he ended up getting a sentence that he's now been breached on. And during those breaches, he ended up getting IVOs against him, because the judge, during the sentencing on the chainsaw incident, told him that he was not to record or post anything about us, and so he did. So we ended up getting an IVO against him. He's now breached the 6th time, but it's all victim-wise for him. It's like he's the victim. He's come out one day, just me going to work. Video, opens the door, starts filming me, yelling at me for why he's got an IVO. So it's a breach. Just incidents like that. It's just, constant harassment, and he's claiming that I'm the one harassing him. I go to court to see the verdict, the outcome, make sure that justice is going the right way. I don't give a shit about his righteous crap, because his righteous crap isn't righteous crap. Like, he believes that people should have the right to just carry knives randomly down the street. Like, that's a bit psychotic, really. Like, why do you need to just carry a knife down the street? Like, it's either you pissed a lot of people off and you need it for protection, but you don't need to randomly just carry knives down the street. I just thought I'd put my 2 cents worth in, since that's the title of the channel. But I'm new to this. I'm learning. I'm not someone who likes to speak. I'm quiet. So it was a bit nerve-wracking doing this video. It's obviously going to upset someone, speaking the actual truth. But as I say, life goes on.